Hey, this is Shane. In today's coaching video, I'm going to give you a quick lesson on fiber. We're going to discuss the two different types of fiber, how much you should eat, what foods to choose from when getting your fiber needs, and equally important, what to stay away from, how to recognize some of the scams that are being pushed on food labels with processed and refined foods that claim that they're high in fiber, but as you'll see, they're really not. Okay? I made some notes on the whiteboard. Let's go ahead and get right into it. There's two basic forms of fiber. We have insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. To make it real simple for you to break it down, insoluble fiber is fiber that passes through your digestive system intact. Okay, it does not break down, it passes through complete. Soluble fiber, on the other hand, is fiber that actually, when it's put into your stomach and your GI tract, will form like a gel. It binds with liquid, it forms up into a gel, and it has a completely different function. Okay, both are important in your system. I want to make sure we just go through and describe for each one why it's beneficial and you understand the differences. Okay, let's start with soluble fiber. You know, soluble fiber, I just mentioned, it binds, it creates a gel in your gastrointestinal tract. This helps bind with fatty acids. This is one of the reasons why it lowers cholesterol, specifically LDL. And that's because it helps to bind with those fatty acids. It prolongs stomach emptying, and this is, there again, one of the key reasons why soluble fiber is so beneficial. People who are insulin resistant or with diabetes, we want to help regulate blood sugar levels, and this accomplishes this by helping to slow down the gastric emptying of food coming out of your stomach and the release of blood sugar. So those are the main functions. The best sources of your food sources for soluble fiber. Number one is psyllium husk. This is my top recommendation. I'll get into this in a second, but psyllium husk, oat bran, and oatmeal, barley, flaxseed, and then your high fiber fruits. I contrast it. We're going to go to the other side now and talk about insoluble fibers. The functions and benefits of insoluble fiber is going to move bulk through the GI tract. Okay, we talked about how it passes through intact. Probably the most beneficial portion of this is that it controls the pH balance, specifically the acidity within your gastrointestinal tract. This is extremely important because you've heard me talk about before inflammation, and how inflammation is really one of the root causes behind cellular congestion and the degeneration of tissue quality and of overall health. Okay, so this helps to control that pH balance. Obviously promotes regular bowel movements, helps remove metabolic waste, specifically through the colon area. We want to be moving, waste as fast as we can through the colon, and this helps do that. Okay. Best sources of insoluble fiber from foods: fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, and legumes. These are going to be your best sources here. You'll notice I don't speak a lot about wheat and wheat product. I'm not a big fan of those because of the allergen and irritant effects they can have on your gastrointestinal tract. Doesn't mean you can't have whole grain bread or something like that from time to time. But if you're looking to get the best sources of fiber, these are going to be where you want to focus on. Okay. My fiber recommendations. Let's get right to the chase. You'll see different recommendations made here. My suggestions are to consume between 30 to 40 grams of fiber daily. This isn't something I go about counting every day, but here's what I personally do and what I would suggest. Number one, I start off every morning. When I wake up, I do psyllium husk powder. You don't have to worry about which one. I mean, I just sometimes get the unflavored. This is important. Don't get the sugar, the ones that have a lot of artificial sugars in them. Just the unflavored, like a Metamucil. You can get it at any drugstore. It's pretty cheap. Unsweetened psyllium husk fiber, 1 to 2 tablespoons of that in a glass of water in the morning. I start off every morning with that. Okay, that's going to give you about anywhere between 5 to 10 grams right there. And the bulk that should come there again. This is my second recommendation: is following more, not a surprise, but following more of a primal blueprint diet that is higher in fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds to begin with. If you're doing that, you're going to get both insoluble and soluble fiber. Because here's the thing: fruits and vegetables predominantly have both insoluble and soluble fibers. Okay, so if you're consuming both throughout the day and your diet primarily consists of that, you'll have no problem getting 30, 40 grams. Okay, without eating a ton of starches and grains and the heavier carbohydrates that your body just simply doesn't need. Okay. All right. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the scam of high fiber processed foods, and this is where you'll see a lot of products. In fact, I made some notes here to talk about a couple of them where the food labels say that they're high in fiber, but I don't want you to be fooled here because this is a scam, all right? The fiber that you're finding in these processed and refined foods primarily comes up from 3 different substances that they're putting back, and these are synthetically made. They're altered forms of fiber that comes from inulin, polydextrose, and maltodextrin, okay? And what they're doing is when they process and refine a food, they're removing the natural fiber. So they go to put it back in with these isolated forms. They do not have the same effect. So these may be true soluble forms of fiber, but they don't gum up and form the gel like the natural forms of fiber would. So they have zero nutritional benefit or health benefit in your body, period. It's absolutely bogus, all right? Here's just a couple examples. Fiber One bars, this is one on the label. It shows 35% of the daily value of fiber, okay? This is a flat-out lie. It's not. The fiber that's coming from that bar is coming from inulin. It's isolated fiber. There's no whole grain fiber in it whatsoever. Ronzoni Smart Taste Pasta. So it says on the label, it's delicious white pasta with 3 times the fiber. I mean, that's the claim right there on the box. There again, this is BS, all right? Because what they're doing is they're taking this modified food starch and they're putting that back into the pasta to claim that, all right, now we're higher in fiber, okay? Compared to if you would have like a whole wheat pasta, which might not show as high as a fiber as this one, but it's actually better for you because it has more natural fiber, okay? Here's another one of my favorites, Kellogg's All-Bran Crackers. Don't be fooled by the All-Bran name. Now, you can see I didn't mention cereals on here, which I could. Those would be soluble fiber, like an All-Bran cereal. Very, very beneficial. I don't include a lot of cereals in my diet, but if you would eat it, I would say eat like an All-Bran cereal, okay? Soluble fiber, very, very beneficial because it's the one that's going to help to lower cholesterol. Now, just because it says All-Bran, what they're doing with these crackers, it's just in the name. There's only a smidgen of wheat bran in each one of these crackers. In fact, I did some research. There's no more than 0.5 gram per serving. Basically, what they're doing is they're taking the outer layer of the oat kernel and they're making this purified powder. It's not whole grain, okay? But that's how they get away with claiming that it's higher in fiber. Another one of my favorites, V8 drinks. All right, it says right here on the label, 20% of daily value of fiber in an 8-ounce glass. This, again, baloney. This is not the case. What you're getting in a V8 is basically tomato paste and water with some added fiber, and that fiber comes back from maltodextrin. That's what they're putting back in there. So it's a isolated fiber with tomato paste and water. You're not getting some vegetable, natural whole vegetable juice drink. If you want to do that, get yourself a Breville juicer, do the juicing yourself, get the real deal. Okay. And the last one here is the Thomas English Muffins, Thomas Light English Muffins. There again, on the label, provides 1/3 of your daily fiber needs. Okay. Here's the thing that really shocked me. Look at this. For each 57-gram muffin, it shows that they have 8 grams of fiber. This is huge. Now, how do they pack 8 grams, or what kind of grains are they using to get 8 grams of fiber in each muffin? Well, what's really going on here is there's not whole grains in there whatsoever, okay? What they're doing is that fiber comes from polydextrose, soy fiber, and sugarcane fiber. But here's the thing. Like, if you were shopping and you would look at the regular, Thomas whole wheat English muffins. There again, I don't recommend this. It's something you would have anyways. I'm not a big, there again, I'm going back on the primal. We don't need the excess starches. We don't need that. But if you're going to buy that. You're going to have some bread. You wanted to have an English muffin. You're better off with the, just the regular whole wheat, not the light. It's only got 3 grams of fiber. But see, now you're going to look at that and go, wait, it's higher in calories. It's only got 3 grams of fiber. And the light version over here is less calories and higher fiber. It's a trick. They're trying to get you to buy that and deceive you by saying, hey, it's light. It's better for you. It can help you lose weight. It's baloney. You're not getting the natural fiber. You're actually getting something that's more processed, more refined, and they pump the isolated form of fiber back in it. So just little things like that. Hopefully that helps you when you're grocery store shopping. Which you start looking at these labels. Look and see if you find inulin, polydextrose, and maltodextrin. This is synthetic isolated fibers they're pumping back in. It's not the same as the whole deal. So don't be fooled by that. If you're seeing it on a box anyways, chances are it's not going to be good for you. Stick with the whole natural foods like I'm always preaching. Follow the primal diet. But once again, if you're going to do fiber, I strongly do recommend that you supplement with like a psyllium husk It's really going to help, especially when you're awakening, you're entering in through that elimination phase. It's going to help you to go to the bathroom. It's a great way to prep your digestive tract for the day. And as you go throughout the rest of your day, you're eating fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, nuts and seeds. You'll be golden. All right. So there it is. There's some fiber. Hope it helps you better understand it. And as always, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email and we'll go from there. All right. Talk to you soon.